You got a great deal on it, though.
On what?
I don't remember.
On the bourbon we're about to sample and talk about.
Well, we consummated our sample.
I was gonna say you guys just shot yours.
Yeah, we shot it.
Well, where's the rest of it?
Mr. Producer has it.
Producer has it.
All right. Well, when we get a chance, reach over there and get that bad boy.
You know, I guess we need to give it a little more respect because it is over 90 proof.
Yeah. Barely. Well, but not
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it doesn't matter.
93 proof.
Okay.
Right.
That's respectable.
And I agree with those tasting notes. It's spicy, dry, oaky.
bold cinnamon, dry, oaky, and spicy.
Okay.
And it's gluten free.
Is it really?
That's what it says.
The hell? And the food pairing is with beef lamb root vegetables. What is a root vegetable?
Like carrots.
And a
root
potato?
vegetable?
Potato. Yes.
Anything that would be
A
in the
root.
ground.
Yes.
Oh.
A root vegetable. But you know what? We recently got hooked on a new drink called a Jack Apple Mule.
I didn't like it.
Well, the Jack
God,
Apple
I
Mule
liked it. So it's Jack Apple.
bourbon.
Is it
A lot of sugar.
bourbon and whiskey? Probably
Tennessee
probably
whiskey, right?
All right, so Tennessee whiskey, Jack Apple, and it's ginger beer,
It's a
and
Moscow Mule, yeah.
yeah, and then a bunch of lime.
Right.
All right, so we called it a Jack Apple Mule. So ginger beer, and I was like, this is going to be a totally ignorant thing.
I've got some downstairs.
Laugh at me all you want. But when I went to go buy ginger beer, I exhausted myself looking for ginger beer in the beer section.
It's not.
I had no idea it was like a root beer, like
No.
a non-alcoholic.
I have the alcoholic kind downstairs.
Oh, so there is an alcoholic
Correct.
ginger beer.
Krabbies.
Okay, well, I guess I feel better because I eventually went into the soda aisle to
Yeah, they have ginger beer there.
to get regular soda, and I found ginger beer, and I was like, holy shit, I had no idea it was non-alcoholic.
Yeah, you buy the alcoholic kind when you're making the mules and
Well,
stuff like that.
We went with, I mean, that's all I found.
That's the P version.
Well, because first off, Kroger didn't have ginger beer, and I know this because I went through every single.
Well, look,
beer.
you could look. I don't know if Kroger will have it in the beer aisle, but it's Krabbies ginger ale or ginger beer, and it's I don't know how much percent it is.
Well,
7%.
the one I got was, well, I mean, there's no beer other than where they sell the beer in Kroger, so
Right.
they didn't have ginger beer there.
Yeah, they're green bottles. I'll show it to you when we get downstairs.
Okay, fair enough. All right, but here's what's interesting.
Hold on.
So then
can we hit pause for a second?
Yes.
So to backtrack,
RV talk.
no, almost the Roseanne show,
Yes.
the Connors is the show that took over
Yes.
when she was vilified for pointing out obvious stuff.
Yes.
They're on season 4.
But what are the ratings? Are they just keeping them alive
Man, I don't know.
just to make a point?
But they
Yes.
came out.
They're subsidizing because no one's watching.
Dan got married. The wedding of Dan and Louise.
Who's Louise?
and
I don't
was
watch the show.
That's Louise from the Jeffersons.
I
you know?
refuse to
So
watch
the
it.
wedding of Dan and Louise, and that was October 13, 2021. So that was just right there. So the show is still alive and kicking, and I won't watch it, but
I tried watching
I
Roseanne
won't either.
when they rebooted it.
I didn't
because-
want to watch that.
Well, because I liked the original
I did.
Roseanne.
I liked it too.
So I watched, I think, 1, maybe 2 episodes. I was like, this is terrible.
No, Shelly and I were like, we were willing to give it. We were willing to go the distance.
Well, we tried it. And,
It's just
and
a sign of the times.
Yeah, we tried it,
And
and,
it's
it
time
was
to
not
go.
as good. It was not as good.
But it was getting there. I thought it was getting better. Like the writing was getting better, the acting was getting better. It was
No, it
less
No,
choppy, but
no.
well,
It's kind of hard to.
no.
They tried to recreate what they had before, and I think they
Yeah.
missed.
It's tough, and you got different writers, and then you have Roseanne's not Republican, and you have a Republican show. I'm sorry, Roseanne is Republican, isn't she?
I don't know what she is.
I would think so, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my point is well, it just
Well, it's they can't tell the same type of jokes, right?
Right.
they got to be woke.
That's what I mean. They need to incorporate that bullshit. And
It's like all the Netflix things. You
Well,
have
I
to
mean,
have
they had a
the gay people just coming out of the woodwork. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
come on, that's
everywhere.
not real life.
well
it's not
in,
real
in,
life.
in the reboot. The kid, the son is wearing girls' clothes.
What?
Yeah.
no, that's right.
Yeah,
What-
there was a transgender deal
It
where
was
he
a
was wearing
grandson.
makeup and girls' clothes.
Yeah, it was a grandson.
Island boy wearing girls' clothes.
I
And
will
I was
not
just
give
like,
them
I
any
was like,
time.
why do you have
Yeah,
to
it's
do that?
unnecessary.
It's just
come
not
on.
necessary. They're going overboard to normalize and to include, and you don't have to. It's okay
Yeah.
to not do
They
that on
they want
every
folks to be
single
fixated
show.
on stuff that just doesn't matter.
They're trying to normalize it.
Yeah, I know they are.
In part of
Every
me,
single
part of
show.
me kind of agrees with it. Where I think some of it, I'm not necessarily saying it should be normalized, but I am actually. I don't want it to be normalized, but I want people to think that it's not a flaw. And the way today's society is, there's all kinds of people out there that have different things
Yes.
going on. It's not a flaw to be you,
Right.
but
I
don't
actually,
impose you on me.
Correct.
That's exactly. I don't even have an issue with it. I'm just tired of it thrown in my face. Every single show I watch, they make the point of throwing it in my face. And I'm
Because
like,
I don't
and I
care.
don't even have an issue. Right. I don't care. I don't have an issue with it.
Not at all. You want to go blow off those sea turtles? Hey, man. You want to go smacked in the face with a dolphin dick? Whatever suits your flow. It's like Eddie Murphy.
There you
He's
go.
like, you can go play tennis with a gay guy. And then after you're done playing tennis, he was like, hey, what are you going to do? I want to go get a beer. What are you going to do? I'm going to go suck somebody's dicks. All right, well, you just go have fun. Yeah. Very respectful.
Eddie Murphy said that.
It was in Delirious, his stand-up comedy.
Oh boy.
But
See,
the
that kind
whole
of stuff,
thing-
you can't do that anymore.
No, but you can do that because the way he said it was perfect. he's like, he
Whatever.
didn't care. He was like,
I
well, you know,
accept you for who you are.
you can do. He was explaining what you can do and what you can't do with a gay guy.
Right.
You know, and he was like, well, you know, you can go play tennis with a gay guy. You know, and then after tennis he comes and he's like, well, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go hang out, drink with buddies, beer with my buddies. And what are you gonna do? I'm gonna say, well, there's where you part the waves. Who
Right.
cares? And back then it was fun. And you know what? People still have the same opinions
Yeah.
back then
You're
as they
just-
do
you're
now.
just
I think you're right.
There's a
Nothing has
subset.
changed.
There's just a subset who are forcing their opinions.
It's
They scream very loud.
Yes.
that's
Agreed.
just it. It's that silent. It's that loud minority. It's not the silent majority. It's that fucking ultra loud
Oh,
minority
Right.
that don't do anything. It's all those
Screaming
buttercups
subset.
on
Yeah.
Twitter who Jack Dorsey has stepped down. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Quit.
Yeah. What was the point of that?
Well,
Like, who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care either.
Yeah.
That was the biggest non-news thing ever.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to. Well, stock went down big time. In fact, stock went down so bad.
They stopped trading
They did.
on Twitter.
How legal is that?
No, I mean that's normal.
No, that's normal.
If
If there's
that's,
big swings of percentage, they'll stop.
yeah,
either
but
up or
that's
down.
official stock market rules. That's not the bullshit Robin Hood. We're gonna pause.
From
Like anybody on this
GameStop.
platform can't trade this. That's different. That's very different than the stock market pausing a trade. A
Well,
stock.
just like they did with DWAC, right? It went up so high, they paused it because they want to make sure everything's in the up and up, right?
oh,
I'm sure there's other reasons. I don't understand all of it, but
well, I
Right.
mean, I'm thankful because you know I bought 1,000 at 90,
where's
and
it at
it's
now?
down to 60 now
Of what?
of DWAC.
I don't even know what DWAC is.
That's the Donald Trump.
It's a platform.
Social platform.
Okay.
It's
okay.
Just hold on to it, man. Don't do anything. Just forget about
I'm
it.
leaving it. I'm keeping it for a year.
What?
I've already made up my mind. I'm investing it for
Well,
at
I mean,
least a
if he-
year so that because after a year you don't pay taxes on it.
Well, and if he runs again and becomes president, that may go apeshit crazy.
Oh yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'd like to buy
My
some.
1,000
DWAC?
Well, right now
DWAC.
is when you buy it because I bought it at 90. It's
Pretty
like
low.
it's like 50 right now.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
may
right now
I
is the
may do
time to
that.
buy it.
I may do that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm down on everything right now anyway, so.
Well, I mean, look, $1,000, it's a lot of money. I would not have been able to do this. I mean, but if it's something, I think if once he starts running, oh my God, I think if I keep that money, in fact, I might even increase it. I might even invest when I get my bonus this year and buy some more of that DWAC.
Okay.
Buy it at $40, $50 because I know once it comes that time around again, we're in 2.5, 3 years when we start doing the campaigning.
Yeah.
Trump is going to be on top, dude. He's in his
So-
A game.
So what's going on with the platform itself? Are they doing anything? Are they
No.
posting anything?
What they're doing is they're licking their wounds one small step at a time. They take 2 steps forward, and someone comes back and says, "Hey, you're using illegal content," meaning that we wrote the software, on the HTML on that. You're not allowed to use our software. So they are, all right, well, we'll take 2 steps back. We'll recorrect this and write our own software for this website, and then we'll go forward again. And so they're like, well, that website looks too much like ours. So because
So
it
they're
looks
like
too much,
totally scrutinizing the shit out of
every
them.
Yeah.
step
All
of
the big
way.
tech is trying to keep them down, saying it's you're stealing our stuff. You know,
and that's what's going on right now, and that's why the
Oh,
costs are
that's
down
so
right now.
Wrong.
Because when it went online, and that's when the prices went boom, and then that's where everyone was like, "Oh my
So it's
God!"
down to $41. Is that the right stock?
Yeah, DWAC. Yeah,
Yeah, that's not good for me. But it is what it is. Go back to that picture, please.
Yeah. Why is it
So
say
look at-
5
look at-
years? There is no 5 years.
go back.
What are you
go
saying,
back,
5 years?
Go back 1 month.
No, that's forecasted. That doesn't matter.
Go back 1 month.
In fact, that's stupid forecasting.
You see how high
Oh,
it
there we
was?
go. Yeah. Okay.
It's actually higher than that. Go back 6 months.
Yeah, it
There
was.
you go, right there.
I bought it right there.
You bought it at the high point, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
I
it,
did.
it was up to 120. I thought.
Well, maybe,
looked
but
at it.
I bought it at around 90.
94 looks like the highest
and
point.
and I'm hanging on to it. That's all there is
So
to
those
it.
are probably closed, but it got up to 120 before it crept back down.
Oh, I see.
So those
That
are-
was a close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So
gotcha.
once it starts going up, I mean, I don't know. Once it starts dropping down, I might buy another 1,000, and I'm just gonna hang on to it.
Oh, the 52-week range is 175.
Yeah, it got way up there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it got way up there.
And the low point is 984.
Yeah, 984.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm in. I mean, it might be it's a long stock,
Yeah, you got to hold on to it for quite a while.
right?
Well, right now, I used to think my fantasy football team was good. So who knows? Maybe I'm just full of
My
shit.
team sucks.
Dude, you had a
My
bad
team
week.
sucks.
You had a really
I've
bad
had a
week.
bad week.
I've
Multiple
had a bad
times.
season.
My freaking quarterback got 5 points. He threw 4 interceptions.
Yeah. Wow.
I was projected to beat your ass too.
Yeah, I know you were. Who was
The
your
person I
quarterback?
was playing had
Oh,
74
Lamar?
points, and I
Lamar
lost.
Jackson.
He had 4 picks?
He had 4 picks. I gave you 5 points.
Oh, I didn't even hear about that.
Yeah, 4 picks.
That's
Lamar
brutal.
Jackson was jamming too. If you would have watched the game, you thought he was doing good.
No, sucked
Minus
ass.
the picks.
Well, Ryan Tannehill had 4 picks last week. Not this week, but last week. And we lost again this week. Ugh, crazy.
Bengals won.
Yes,
Yeah,
dude.
well,
They beat the
Jackson,
shit out of them.
They crushed
you're like in
Pittsburgh.
ninth place, right?
I haven't looked today, but yeah, I'm down at the bottom.
Poor Barry is 2-10.
All I got to do is not.
And he's got more points than at least 4 of the teams above him.
He's got more points than I do.
Yeah.
I beat him though, so I'm fine with
That's
it.
so crazy.
I think we all beat him.
Dude, did you
Yeah.
see? I know this is boring talk, but I mean, the guy that's leading is leading by like 300 points.
Yeah.
He's running away with it. I've
Yeah.
never seen that before. Is that Joe?
It's Joe.
He'll probably win this year.
He's got
Or there's Plato
1,500 points.
Plato too.
But yeah, fantasy football, I'm thoroughly frustrated with it.
EA Sports.
I'm projected to
It's
do
a good
100.
game.
I'm projected to do 105 points. And I never go by the projected, but I come in
No,
at,
no,
what, 62?
Yeah, so, yeah,
I get
that's
frickin' 62.
yeah, that was dramatically different than the
Just
projected
like,
points.
what the hell?
Yeah, that's
You know, my Nick Chubb didn't do shit. My James
Everyone's
Robinson
getting
didn't
hurt.
do shit.
Everyone is getting hurt, and
Oh,
I'll tell
I know
you,
it.
players are it's different. It's different than any other year I've ever played fantasy football.
Negative. Other than COVID, and we had COVID last year.
I think it is different.
How?
I just think that some of these players are getting hurt.
Everybody gets hurt every year.
Yeah, I just think they're getting hurt. The trend is that they're getting hurt more this year. I don't know what to do
on your team.
On everyone's team.
No, I get it. I know it seems crazy. Most of my guys have been on the bench all year long.
Well, I think that the style of game playing now, they recognize that you're not going to have the Emmitt Smiths. They're not going to have the Corey Davises. I think that these workhorses that we've been used to in the past, they're not necessarily extinct, but we got to learn to protect them. And if they're projected to last 5 years, I'm sorry, 3 years, then or 5 years, whatever. The point is that you need to have another running back that is as beefy. So you need to have two.
Zeke's hurt right
Is he?
now, and he's not done much this year.
Yeah, I mean, most teams are going with a tandem or rotation of running backs,
and you have to
because it's too much. I mean, look at Derrick Henry; he got hurt, boom, out for the season.
Oh, is he?
Well, I mean, he may make it back for the playoffs if we can hold it together until then.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, guys are dropping like flies, and I think a lot of teams that's the reason why they go with the tandem or rotation of running backs for sure.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that take the most beating, right?
The running backs, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much they can do about quarterbacks. It's not like you can do a rotation of quarterbacks, right?
Wide receivers have the trend now that they're statistically making on the average more points than running backs are. That to me is crazy. It used to be in the order: quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers.
Oh yeah, and that's the way I've always drafted, and I drafted that way this year. And I think you're right. I think
it's changed.
Now we got to change our strategy because
I think running backs need to be. Well, I mean,
they're always splitting carries. They're always splitting carries.
We're doing what? One running back, one wide receiver, and then two flex, right?
And a tight end.
Tight end.
And a tight end. And that flex, and
it could be a running back, wide receiver, or tight end.
And I tell you what, if we didn't have those two flexes, I think there would be a lot of hurt teams out there. I mean, we're already suck. Can you imagine if we didn't have those flexes?
I hear you.
What about making having a second QB as a flex?
That's crazy.
Get some points.
Well, no, I disagree with that. There are some quarterbacks out there that, to put them on a flex would be ridiculous because you would always start two quarterbacks.
Yeah, you would always. Because they always get, a minimum 15.
No.
Typical. Well, I mean,
I got 5.
I know. Mine have gotten shitty as well, but you see my point.
Sean had 1.
It's not atypical for a subpar performance to be 10 to 15 points. But 10 to 15 points for a running back or wide receiver is a good game.
Yeah, it is.
So, all right, do we ever even talk about our bourbon that we're trying here?
Do we have bourbon?
No. No, not yet.
All right, let's talk about it.
I talked about who did talk about the last one? I think we all did.
Yeah, we might have all. All right, this one's called Few.
Yeah. Few Good Men.
Few Spirits, straight bourbon whiskey, 93 proof.
93 proof. Okay, it's no slouch, but it's not, not a powerhouse.
It's just, I think it's kind of in the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, anyway, it's. I think it's spicier than the last one. This one's 93 proof, and the other one was 119.
Yes.
I think this one definitely has a spicier flavor to it. I wonder if it's got the Northern Rye. It even says in there.
Northern Rye.
The spiciness of the Northern Rye.
Yep. It's a 3-grain recipe that infuses a generation of Southern tradition with the spiciness of Northern Rye and a touch of malt for smoothness. Few is handcrafted through a small batch process in charred oak barrels to age its bourbon whiskey. All right, scroll down. See if we can get a little bit more information about the mash bill or Is that it? No, that's it.
I didn't say
There's not
shit
much,
about it.
not much to share about it. Okay.
It's out of Illinois. They distill it and bottle it there, age it there.
All right, it's
Um,
definitely cheaper, right? I think you got yours for $36.
Yeah, I got mine. It was in the 30s when I
Yeah,
got it.
he was like 30 something.
Yeah.
That's not a bad price for that.
No, that's about right for that. I like the
Yeah.
bottle. It's different.
It's a square bottle.
Kind of reminds me of like an old medicine bottle or something.
Kind of does. Kind of tastes like it a little too.
Yeah, yeah. Not my favorite. It's not the worst.
Yeah.
It's not a backbeat.
Not a backbeat. Thank you for that.
That's our goalpost. That's our measuring stick.
Is it like
Backbeat.
on the very low end?
Yeah. Does it beat backbeat? Yes, it does.
Wow. All right. Okay, you know what? I would like to continue our conversation from where we ended up on the last podcast. Hopefully, others are rolling right into this one. So Sean's gonna bitch and whine about how cuts of meat. We talked about the
I'd like
parts
to try
of
to
the
figure out
cow.
what are the best cuts of meat to sous vide for the best tender stuff. I mean, because Jeff and I invested in a sous vide. If you don't know what a sous vide is, it's a product made by Nova. I'm sure they have
There's
some
other
other
brands.
There's a million
types
of
of
A million.
heating wands that control the temperature of water that you put a sacked, vacuum-packed piece of meat in, and throw a temperature like, let's say, for example, you have a T-bone steak, and it's cut at 12 ounces, and you throw it in a bag, and you vacuum pack it, or you season it, vacuum pack it, and you throw it in the water for
2 hours.
2 hours, whatever. Let's say it's an inch and a half thick. You want to put a half hour for every. Is it half hour for every half inch?
I don't know.
It's something like that. It's a half inch for every
Hour.
What is it? Maybe it's an hour for every half inch. I think that's what it is.
An hour for every half inch. So about 3 hours for an inch and a half. It's about right.
Yeah. So,
Right.
anyways, the purpose of it is that it cooks the temperature, it kills all the germs because there some other concerns were that like for chickens and porks and stuff that if you don't cook it at 165 degrees you're gonna fucking die. No. You can actually cook it at 135 degrees consistently for more than 20 minutes, and it kills all that type of bacteria.
Yeah, I usually cook the chicken at 145, I think, and it's.
But at a certain point,
Yeah, the texture changes dramatically between
rubbery.
135 and 165. Right, I found 145 is perfect because I've done it lower.
Yeah.
And it's kind of rubbery.
Yeah.
And 145, it's super juicy. Perfectly, it's white inside. It's
But
not
not
pink
too
or anything.
chewy.
No, not at all. It's very, very
I
tender.
do mine a little bit less. I do mine at 135, but Jeff will cook his to eat. So, meaning that he cooks his and he eats it right away.
Right.
I cook mine and I freeze them.
And then you
And
pan
And then you
fry
heat
it
them up later.
Yeah. So what
to be
I have-
higher than what you left it at. Temperature.
Well,
internal
he
temperature
finishes
wise.
cooking it. It cooks more when he heats it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the problem that I was experiencing is that when I reheated it, it had a tendency to be drier, So that's why I had dropped the initial temperature down to 135 because I was like, "What the hell am I doing wrong? I don't understand."
Right.
And that's what the deal was. At least it's been working so far, and it's still a fine line because you got to be careful. To the point where there are sometimes I take it out of the freezer and I throw it in the pot of boiling water, and now I'm thinking, now I'm at a point where I take it out in the morning. I wake up, have my coffee, I take my chicken out or whatever I'm gonna eat, and I set it on the countertop, and I let it thaw, get room temperature, and then I throw it in the pan for 5-10 minutes, as opposed to letting a frozen piece of meat boil in a pan for 20 minutes.
Right.
It's,
So I've heard that you're not supposed to thaw at room temperature
Chicken, you're not supposed to. You can beef.
or turkey.
Yeah, poultry, you're not supposed to let it get
Poultry.
the room temperature.
Poultry in general.
Well,
Okay.
but if it's already cooked, I mean, that's probably if it's raw.
I don't know. Chicken's a little squirrely.
So I
when
will
it
tell
hits
you that I
temperature.
bought a Popeyes turkey that was pre-cooked, and they explicitly said, "Do not thaw at room temperature."
Popeyes.
Yeah, I bought a Popeyes frozen turkey that was
Yeah.
pre-cooked, and they explicitly said that.
Yeah.
So they said,
Chicken's a little squirrely.
yeah, and they said 72 hours in the refrigerator,
Yep.
or 10 to 12 hours in water that you swap out the water every 30 minutes.
Yep.
In cold water, and then swap it out every 30 minutes,
Good
meaning
grief.
don't let the water get too warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You're supposed to thaw poultry in the fridge.
In
That's
the
the best
fridge.
way to do it.
Right. Anyway, I'm just throwing that out there because
I
that's
think
what I
people
read.
think too much. I think that the opportunity to get sick from chicken is there. I just think it's overrated.
Yeah.
Until you get sick.
Well, that's true, but
I mean, you do need to follow the guidelines for handling, certain types of meat.
I'm on
whether,
one spectrum
whether it be
of
poultry,
food,
pork, or
Sean's on the
whatever.
other.
That's important.
well, I mean, there are some people that eat raw chicken. There
I
are
know.
some people that eat raw eggs. You know, and they're just absolutely fine.
Raw chicken? Who eats
Raw
raw
chicken, I don't know. Google it. Eating raw chicken. I saw a show on it.
Is that
Is it a fetish?
Is that
It's not
grill?
a fetish. It's nothing like that.
Is that grill guy that it's a survivalist? He chases down wild chickens and
Actually,
eats them raw.
It strange enough, it is a kind of a hillbilly looking dude, and he was in fact CPS had to come into his house because he was forcing his whole family to eat raw chicken. And it's like, do you understand? You get salmonella and all, blah, 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 blah. But they had been doing it for years. They never got sick. So I mean, come on.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm just saying the opportunity is there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all bad. I mean, imagine if you're out in well, whatever, man.
It's about taking risk, right? I mean, I would prefer to not take risks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna always cook it to what they recommend, type of thing. But I mean, you're right.
Well, the key is to the sous vide. What it does is it pasteurizes it.
Right.
That's why you can cook to a lower temperature.
For longer.
And that's why I'm saying it. Once you pasteurize it and it's sealed in that bag, well, it's sealed.
Right.
There's
no
it's,
bacteria.
Yeah,
or
there's not an
whatever getting in
opportunity
there.
for it. That's why. So when I can take it out of the refrigerator or the freezer and let it get to room temperature because it is vacuum packed.
Right.
At least I think. I mean, that might be one of the things.
Right. That could be.
I don't know.
Anyway,
I've never had an issue with it, but
So the chicken turns out real well. The steaks I've done ribeyes, I've done fillets, I've done T-bones, sous vide, and they all turn out good.
Yeah.
we actually did. We did do a brisket.
You did a brisket, but you let all the juice out.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Let all the juice out.
Yes, he didn't save any of the juice.
You
He was so fast I couldn't stop. He's like, all the juice spewed.
You didn't.
It was fucked up before then, so it didn't.
We have
matter.
video. Oh yeah, it leaked everywhere, didn't it?
Well, the thing is, I had 2 turkey basting bags, and I put one inside the other, and they just fucking leaked. That's all there is to it. And here's the thing: to all those folks out there that want to experiment doing a sous vide, to cook a brisket in a vacuum packed bag, don't get a 15, 16, 20 pound brisket. You don't. There's no need to.
No, get a 10-pounder.
Get a 10-pounder, get a 12-pounder, get something that's going to actually fit in the fucking bag.
Yeah, you had a huge brisket you're trying to do.
That was really the big deal. I had I was like, how am I going to get this shit in there? And whatever.
So you didn't have a bag big enough.
No, they come in standard sizes. They may make them, but I didn't have one, and it's just
You live and learn.
that's basically what it is. So I mean, if you can get a smaller 12-pounder, I think a 12-pounder would be absolutely perfect.
Now hold on. So you looked at somebody's website or Instagram or whatever or YouTube, and you followed somebody's lead on sous-viding.
Yeah, these guys, I forget their names,
brisket.
but do you know what they remember their?
It's sous vide everything, right? Or
Yeah,
anything.
sous vide everything, something like that. This guy's from the Latinos, so they're from Mexico
I think
or
they're from Brazil.
South America. They're from Brazil,
I think.
and let's put it this way: they are so popular. They just purchased a $3 million of a side of Wagyu cow. This just happened like within the last month.
They spent $3 million
$3 million
on one cow.
on a half a cow.
Wow.
Actually, I may be lying, but I do know it's $3 million. and I saw some meat. So I saw it was a half a cow. So
Well, he does a lot of crazy shit with it too. So this is like, this is a $1,000 piece of meat. I'm going to cover it in peanut butter and let it sit in the fridge overnight. See what happens to it.
What? Why?
That's what he does.
And he makes that much money.
And he tries different things. Yeah, he's got a video. It's called Guga Foods.
Okay.
So he says, I cooked a Wagyu cow for $3 million. So, well, it's actually a video. I didn't mean to pull up the video of it. But it's a Google Foods, and they this particular video is a 12-minute video. I don't know what it says. I cooked a Wagyu cow for $3 million from Google Foods. The huge milestone in all. Thanks, having a cook Wagyu cow for $3 million.
So, but what's the point of it? I mean, they're paid him $3 million to cook this.
Well, I'm trying to find out if
that's how much he paid for it.
So there you go.
Here he is slicing
Once
up.
that was done, we managed to put a rack right underneath. And with everyone's help, this is what happened.
So close. Pick it up!
So
my finger almost got jammed. Let's go!
It's exactly what I said. It was a half a cow for $3 million.
No joke.
No joke indeed. This thing is humongous, and I am so honored to be able to cook this for you guys. Now let me give you a little bit more information about this piece of meat, and for that I got Tim to explain.
This is a 100% full-blood Wagyu
That's
beef
Tim
that we
Shear
raised
from the
at
Marble
our farm
Ridge
in New Haven,
Farms.
Missouri.
100% Wagyu.
100%.
It's not American mix, Wagyu,
no
nothing.
50-50 here.
Oh man, we're going all out, everybody. How big is this thing right now?
Right now, it's about 450 pounds. This was about a 1,400-pound live weight cattle.
Tim, it did not feel like that. It felt like 1,000 pounds.
It definitely did.
As you can probably already tell, this has a lot of fat. So we got 4 people to go ahead and start the trimming. This was really no joke. Because you gotta remember one
Imagine
thing,
what those
if we
beef
don't
ribs
remove
taste
it, it's
like.
just gonna go to waste. That is the last thing we want. We gotta put this wonderful fat to go to good use.
He's got a
so we
weird
make sure
voice.
to trim a good
It's a
amount.
very
And
soft
as we kept
voice. It
going
goes
with
down
the
like
trimming, you
this.
can see
Everyone
the
wants to-
Wagyu
everyone
beef
just sounds so
being
good.
revealed.
Something
And
you
that
just
is what
listen
I'm
to and
talking
fall
about.
asleep.
I think
Tortillas
what
on
it
that.
is he cooked it for this guy. It's a $3 million piece of. He didn't buy it, but I think he is cooking it for this guy.
For $3 million?
That's probably worth $3 million. It's a $3 million piece of meat. If you sold it, all the pieces, probably
What are they doing with all that fat?
you keep it.
Well, they make it that you add it to something that you want to taste better.
Well, you can make
Chuck
tallow out of it.
hamburger.
You make tallow out of it, and Wagyu fat is different than regular cow
oh, they're
fat.
making street tacos.
That's
Yeah.
got to be the most expensive street taco ever. So they're smoking. They're smoking it. They're doing. I haven't seen them do the sous vide part yet, though.
This was a boost of energy.
No, that's
that
his
we
other
all
channel.
needed. This is absolutely.
He doesn't really use a sous vide on
So
his
once all
Google
the
channel.
that
chickens
is
were full, it was
like
time to get back to work.
pretty
And
much
remember, we just
raw.
finished trimming
Medium
that
rare
whole
to
thing.
raw.
And here's what we had to do next.
Perfectly
Yeah.
trimmed. The only thing left to do is to get a season in the smoker. We're gonna inject it first, Jeremy.
We're gonna inject it with more tallow.
Just because it doesn't.
Oh,
have
this
enough,
guy. I've seen
right?
this guy.
Doesn't
as
have
So
well.
enough.
they're
We're gonna do
injecting
even
it
more. We're gonna take
with
everything
its own
from it.
fat.
Let's be specific. Wagyu tallow.
Now, I've
See?
done an
Wagyu
experiment
tallow.
where we inject tallow into the beef, and it does make
No, they're
everything
buying
better. You gotta
Wagyu
remember,
tallow-
this thing is gonna be
tallow.
Yeah, you
cooking
could
for a
buy it.
very long time.
Why?
So a little bit of
It
fat
adds flavor.
inside does not hurt. And when I
So-
say
Like
a
they
little bit,
need
you
to?
know what I mean. Because as we all know, fat
Fat
makes
is flavor.
everything taste better.
Yeah.
Then we went ahead and
That's
started
why
with
you
the
want a
seasoning.
well-marbled
And we're talking
steak.
about
If you
a
don't
ridiculous
have a
amount
well-marbled
of
steak, it's
salt.
not gonna be
We're
very
using
good.
So they
kosher
got
salt because
half
we
a
think
cow,
that's the
and they
best.
are
And it does not matter how
putting
much we put, there's
gratuitous
no way that
amounts
we
of
can overseason
rock
it.
salt
Since
all
this is a
over it.
large piece of meat, there's
Coarse-
no
Yeah,
way
no
that it's
shit. They're
supposed
salting
to
the
be
crap
inside.
out of this
That's a
thing.
huge piece. You know how much salt I put on my brisket?
Yeah, why not?
Really?
That guy.
Once the salt was done, it was time for the
Did
best
you
step.
see that?
So yeah, this is the most amount of salt and pepper I've ever used in my life. If I'm not mistaken, we used about 8 pounds of salt and 8 pounds of pepper. It is a crazy amount.
pounds?
And to say that we were all exhausted was an understatement.
You look tired.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man.
This is no joke, everybody. I'm telling you right now.
Not at all. Oof.
To boost up the energy, it was time to eat once again. And for that, Tim went ahead and made
So they
some
got a bunch of
incredible
small
ribs. They
smokers,
were
but those look like
absolutely
pork
phenomenal.
ribs.
A nice, sweet, tangy taste was perfect to boost up the morale. Huge shout out to Joe and Josh. You guys should definitely check them out on the description.
Yeah, see, they got
We also
several
had
people
some
here
incredible
on
jumbo
doing this, not
lobsters.
just
We just threw them
Yeah,
in the
sure.
because that other
chopped them
guy, the
up.
mad
Because
scientist,
what we really
I've
all
watched
wanted was
several of
some
his
brisket.
videos.
And this one turned out fantastic.
He does a lot of
To say that this thing was juicy was an
tests.
understatement.
My God,
After
that looks
boost of
amazing.
energy, it was time to get back to work.
I'll be honest with
So
you.
they had
there's no way we
lobsters,
can
they had
pick this up and
shrimp,
Put it in there right now.
Not
Uh,
gonna happen. I think we should split it.
All right.
Anyway, so
There you go.
I'll tell you, where
Let's buy one.
we went
Got it.
for dinner a couple nights ago. We went to the crab station here in
The what?
Colony.
The what?
The crab station.
Where's
Crab
that at?
station. It's off of 121. You know where they built the new Sawgrass?
Oh yeah, on the
121
north
in
side.
Colony. It's right after that. So it's before like the room store and
Right.
after
Right.
Sawgrass. They market price whatever crabs, blue crabs, shrimp, mussels. It was cool.
Do
It's
they
expensive.
have steaks
No,
for the non seafood eater? Because my wife doesn't eat seafood. She likes crab legs though. She will eat crab
they've got
legs.
hamburgers. They have some stuff. I didn't really see steaks.
Well, she'll eat crab legs. She likes crabs.
Well, they got crab legs. They got blue crabs. They've got lobster tail. They had a lot of things to offer, but it was good. I enjoyed it. It was expensive. There was 11 of us, and it was about $500.
Wow.
For 11 people,
Yeah,
it's $50 a pop. Less than.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not.
Does that
That's
include
not
drinks?
cheap.
Does that include drinks?
well, that was the total bill. So,
Did you have drinks though?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I had 2 beers.
That's
It
what I mean.
wasn't extravagant, but
But still, $45 a pop at a seafood place. That's about right.
Well, they had other stuff too.
Mathlete.
So they had like a
Yeah.
lobster dog, which was good. It's basically just a looked like a freaking hot big ass bratwurst, but it was a lobster dog. They had like large pots of gumbo they'd bring out. So when they bring out a gumbo thing, it's like $25 for a little cauldron, and they'd have like come with like a little 4
That you
bowls.
share.
Yeah, well, presumably, and you share it, and they have some linguine that comes out in a cauldron too, and with some bunch of seafood. It was good. I'd go again. I'd go
So
absolutely.
where
again.
was it? Here in Frisco?
the Colony.
It's in the Colony.
On the Colony. Okay.
Yeah.
There's pictures of it.
Yep,
I think
saw
that it's your lobster roll. It's not a lobster brat.
Well, it's a lobster roll.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying for those folks at home that don't know what that
Oh,
is.
it looks like they.
It's sort of a lobster brat because it comes in a bun, and it's like it's in the shape of a fucking brat.
I say we get some charbroiled oysters.
Well, I actually
good.
went to a place called Moby's in New Jersey while I was out there, and that's exactly what I had. I had a dozen oysters
Roasted.
and God bless it, a lobster roll, and it was really good. 2 beers. God,
$50.
brought back memories. Yeah, it really did, man. Yeah, it was actually
$50.
$67.
Jeez.
God, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's an expensive dinner, man.
Yeah, but how many times are you going to be on the East Coast at Moby's to have a lobster roll? Because it's not,
Oh, you have lobster roll right there down the street.
it's $25.
Yeah.
Well, the company's paying for it.
Well, I mean, the company gives you an allowance,
There you go.
They give a $9 a day allowance. So you had $58.
Yeah, so you had a $40 dinner.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So kind of getting back to the meats. You wanted to get into the types of cook though, right? I know Sean tucked on the sous vide.
Yeah, well, so before we hop back over to traditional grilling, so how many people would you say? I mean, I know that sous vide is
Not that many.
Is making it's making a run.
Yeah, you can find it at Costco.
Yeah, I've heard more people talking about that than I have in years past. So I think more
Well,
and more people are getting
becoming
involved
affordable.
in that.
It's easy to do.
But you still have to sear it.
You
Well, you pull
Right?
it out.
There's
of the-
still an
have to.
element.
Pull
There's
it out
still
of
an element of putting it on
You don't
in
have
a
to.
skillet.
Well, it's better if you do.
Yeah.
It is, but you don't have to.
Right.
It
No,
looks
no, I-
nasty
no.
if you don't sear it.
But
Well,
I'm just saying, in general, I
But
think
there's I mean, because like for example, like pork loin. I'll take a large pork loin and I will put it in a bag. I'll season the shit out of it, and I take the pork loin that's lean, and
Right.
I'll season the shit out of it. I'll cook the whole thing for like 5 hours, which in retrospect, I think I'm going to drop that down to about. Well, it doesn't matter. To about 3.5 because I was cooking it for 165 degrees for like 5 hours.
okay,
And it was big. It was, like 2-3 foot long.
right.
And, when that thing was done, I would take it and I'd hold it upside down. So I would let all the juices in the bag go to one side. And then when I would put it in the refrigerator outside, I would tilt the loin so that the juices would continue to run off the meat
Right.
and gather in a big sack.
Okay.
And when that was done, then I'd leave it in there 2 days. Leave it in there 2 days, let it get coagulated, and then after that, I take the loin out, and I would take my hands and I would scrape all the seasoning,
All the schmeg.
yeah, the schmeg, and I'd cut 1/2-inch pieces all the way up. I'd like 1/2-inch slice,
Okay.
and that's what I do. I prepackage that, and then so it's already cooked. It's ready to go.
No, but my point is, when you serve it, how are you cooking it?
So after I sous vide it, then to serve it, for me, I eat it for lunch. So I basically take the bag, because after I take it out of there and I slice it, I re-vacuum pack it
Right.
individually. So all I do is I take how many people are eating? 3 people. Take 3 bags out, throw it in the pot. Boom. 20 minutes.
So you're boiling it inside the bag.
Yeah, just boil it inside the
Right.
bag.
Okay,
When you're
so
done,
you're not pan frying it. You're not
No. I mean,
reverse searing it.
you
You're just
can.
boiling it in water.
I think most people do, because I think most of the recipes have you cook it. Sean does it a little differently because he does it for his lunches and stuff
and it's
like that.
easier, and I'm lazy.
Yeah.
No,
I
I get
don't
it.
know if
I
it's
get
easy. I
it. But
think
it's
it's
not bad. I mean, you're enjoying it, so
Yeah,
obviously
no,
it's working for you.
Yeah, it's fine. I think.
But most people cook it to where the internal temperature is where it needs to be, and then they
then you
vacuum
pull it
seal
out and you get a really I have some cast iron pans down there.
Right,
Turn it up, put some avocado oil in there because you want low smoke because you have to turn it up high,
right,
and you sear it for like a minute on each side. Done
and then done.
Right. Perfectly. It's got a nice
So,
crust
but
on
what
it.
you're
Hold
talking
on.
about-
This is immediately after you sous vide it.
But
Yep.
you
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
right after that.
Right.
So and I go back to the thing where you don't have to boil it. All
Right.
you have to do is take it out of the freezer
Right.
and let it get room temperature.
Right.
Or take it out of the freezer the night before and stick it in the refrigerator.
Right.
If those people that are concerned about
Right.
contamination. Well, just take it out, or maybe 2 days, whatever. The point is to get it thaw, and then when you're ready to eat it, you can boil it. You can drop it in a pan and sear it.
Yeah, you can still reverse
So
sear it.
you could still sear it, but again, it's the lazy factor a little bit.
No,
I don't
got
feel
you.
like washing the pan. Honestly.
Right. No, I understand it.
And really, I take that meat and I basically just put it on a piece of bread like a sandwich, and it's a really thick. Imagine having a thick 1/2-inch
Right.
big pork loin on top of a bread. I mean, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Nobody in my house will. They all make fun of me and laugh at me over the whole thing. I wouldn't say make fun of me, laugh at me, but they definitely don't participate.
Right.
My oldest son will jump in there. I experimented with something this past week, which I'm not real happy about the results of. And my brother-in-law had produced. He took a huge ass brisket and he cut it up in quarters. And he's got a large smoker which has like 6 shelves. In there. And it's kind of cool from the perspective where he's got like this little machine that you put the wood in.
He's got the electric kind, right?
Yes.
The Masterbuilt, the tall.
It's tall and it's
Yeah.
got this little machine on the side that you puts the wood in and smoke. So the meat that's actually in the system, the temperature in there could be 65 degrees, and it's still smoking. So it smokes. They call it. I don't know what
low
they call
smoke.
that. Low smoke. Okay.
Right.
Low what?
Low smoke. When your temperature's lower, like on my smoker, about 110, 115, it produces a shit ton of smoke. You don't want to smoke in that because if you smoke it too much, it gets real bitter, right?
Okay.
So if you put too much smoke on it, it gets real bitter. So you need to get to the point. Like the pellet grills don't usually produce as much smoke as your offset smoker. That's the big, can one with the firebox
Right,
on
with
the
the
side
wood,
and
with the
everything.
wood, actual wood
Yeah,
on the
those
side.
produce more smoke and imbue more smoke into the meat. And the pellets not quite so much, but you can control that if you smoke it for a while at lower heat. Lower heat will give you more smoke.
It was super tender.
Okay.
whatever he gave me. So we vacuum packed 2 sections, and he let me take 2 sections, and I guess they were like the most fattiest part of the fucking thing. The sections I got,
Right.
because when you would touch it with your hand, it was just like fucking talking to Jello. It was disgusting, and
Really?
yeah, it was disgusting. It's disgusting. That's all I can say. I can repeat that
Like
over and
you
over.
couldn't even eat it. It was like
No.
so
let me,
fatty.
no, but it was so fatty. To fathom eating it was disgusting. But
He didn't trim it.
he didn't. I guess. Did
Yeah.
I? It was too late. It was too.
Right.
It was kind of like it was so tender that when you touch the meat, it would disintegrate. It kind of go into it. So what I ended up doing is I took both the bags that night and I stuck it in the big crock pot that I've got, and I just put it in there overnight. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Stuck it in there for like 12 hours, but I dumped like a cup and a half of sugar and a bunch of cayenne pepper on top of it, hoping to caramelize it and hoping to make it kind of
solidify the fat.
to do something that would create to do something.
Okay.
And it didn't. First of all, I need to put way more cayenne pepper, and that's why this whole thing is a learning curve.
Sure.
So I know how much I put on there, and I know how much I want to put on there next time. But then again, that could have been just simply because there was so much fat. Because
So it didn't do anything.
I tasted the sugar, and so the problem now is I have a really super tender
Sweet.
meat that's sweet now, and which didn't taste horrible, but
it doesn't.
needed
It's not
some
right. It
some
doesn't taste
salt.
right.
It didn't taste right. But what I ended up doing is, my point by bringing this up is that it was smoked. They cut it. It was in a bag. I put it in the crock pot. I let it go for another 12 hours to get all that fat, and I fucking strained all that fat out.
Oh wow.
And just to leave the meat.
Sure.
So now I go in there and I'm cherry picking strands of meat out of the fat.
Right.
And I'm putting it in a casserole dish, in a big glass casserole dish.
Okay.
And so I did that, and I filled up the whole casserole dish with meat. And I'm trying not to get as much fat in there. The goal is to get the fat out of the thing. So after that, I take the casserole dish, now that it's full, and I put it out in the fridge 2 days. And then I take the casserole dish after 2 days. It's coagulated a bunch. I take a spatula and I cut it into cubes, because now it's all... And so I take the cubes and I drop it in a vacuum bag again, and now it's ready to be served.
You're over vacuuming.
Well, but you know what? Here's the thing, man. Minus it doesn't taste good.
Well, ignore that part.
Ignore that part. No, it does taste good. It really did. It was super tender, and it did taste good.
Sure.
It was sweeter than I'd liked. When you add a little bit of salt to it, it was phenomenal. What I really wanted was I wanted it to caramelize in the crock pot, and it didn't caramelize.
Right.
That's the problem, and I didn't know if I needed to cook a little bit longer,
I don't know.
or what the deal is. It's kind of a trial
Like you
and
said,
error.
I mean, well, for one thing, it's science, man.
Yeah,
There's
some of these
so
guys got
much.
it down.
So I don't know if you guys have ever gone out to the website Amazing Ribs, but that's a website that I latched onto to kind of learn about. I mean, it talks about again, the different cuts. It talks about all sorts.
I've been out on it.
Oh yeah, it talks about the science behind what's happening in the meat when you cook, when you smoke, when you reverse sear. I mean, it's talking about in the science behind it, right?
Well, the like you need to let your meat rest. They explain to that, right? Because it's a muscle, so when you heat it, it contracts and it pushes all the juice out.
Right.
So you need to let your meat rest so it loosens back up and pulls some of that juice back in.
Right. And there's a lot of things like that, science-based things that make you think about why you need to do this and this and this and this. So
like, don't ever cook fish in a sous vide.
Have you tried that?
I haven't. I can only imagine.
Gross.
Well, it turns to mush.
Like gel, yeah.
It's a pate.
Not a bad. Unless it was real firm.
Well,
meat
it's
like a shark.
If you were
or swordfish.
no, actually, I wouldn't mind
Swordfish
okay.
would be good in there. 'Cause that's like a steak.
Actually, that's interesting. I wouldn't mind experimenting with that. I'm thinking more of the softer, the tilapias, the salmons.
The orange
The
roughy.
salmon, the orange roughy. The salmons might be kind of tough simply because they've got the skin on half of it. So if you can get that skin off and put just the plank in there by itself without the skin, I don't know. It's totally a pate, which I'm not against either, but I hear it's undesirable from the texture as opposed to the taste.
I was gonna say it probably tastes fine. It's just
I don't know. I don't I'm more interested in mastering grilling than I am diving into the sous vide thing.
To me,
Because I'm not a master griller. They talk about master
This is gonna
grillers, right? I
sound
mean, and you're farther along, Jeff, than
shitty.
definitely both of us are.
but
in
it's
terms
kind
of
of like
smoking and all that kind of stuff.
You want to
Right.
master riding a tricycle. Like why would you want to master riding a tricycle?
Really, grilling compared to sous vide? Are you serious?
Kind of.
No. I'm going to disagree.
Well,
I would say most
and I'm saying this
most people who like really know how to prepare meat and smoke meat and serve meat would tell you that the grill's the way to go
God, I feel like one of those woke people.
because you're gay.
No, because that are you saying woke people are gay?
I don't know. Are they?
They're
Are
not
you?
happy.
they can't be happy.
They're always complaining.
Yeah, they're
No,
always upset.
My point my point by saying that
God.
wasn't to put down or delegitimize the folks out there that are cooking on a charcoal grill. It's just it seems like
Well, any grill, but yeah.
any grill. It just seems like there's a recipe for it. Yeah, some of it's an art, some of it's reading the fucking directions.
Right.
Well, each cut of beef is different though.
I've
When
got
you
It
throw it
is.
on the grill.
I've got a 5-pound whatever. Directions say raise up 2 inches from the charcoal, let heat to this temperature,
Oh,
put on there
come
1 hour, and it's like come on.
Seriously, you're going to say that grilling on a grill is easier than
I'm
dropping something in
not
a
saying
sealed
that.
bag into warm water and cooking it for 3 hours?
He's got you there.
No, I had to plug
Really?
it in. I had to plug it in the vacuum.
Oh my
no.
God!
Bill
I
Cosby's
roll-
coming out.
I
Did you
roll-
see
I
that
hurt my
Bill
eyes.
Cosby may get thrown back in the clink?
What
what
did he
now?
bang now?
No, they're going to try to overrule. I think it's gone to the Supreme Court or a higher court at least.
Hold on. What? Say that again.
They're-
What did I miss?
Bill Cosby may be getting thrown back into jail.
Yes, I have heard that.
So I don't know. I
They're
don't,
wanting to. The prosecution that had their case overturned or ruled, thrown out or whatever. Yeah, they want to escalate it to the Supreme Court to do something.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
yeah, so he may be back in prison here.
I hope so.
He deserves it.
He deserves it. 100% deserves it.
Yeah. So they're going to the Supreme Court. Holy shit.
Who was it that there was somebody I was arguing with. Oh, during the elk trip. One of the guys at the camp were thinking that he was being screwed by
Bill Cosby?
Yeah. Yes.
No, he did it to himself, man.
You know what? I guess it's the whole when you're a celebrity, everybody comes after you. And then I was like, but 60 women? Like 60? Really?
Right.
It's
Oh,
he's just
come
one of those
on.
guys that he has an addictive personality, and he's genuinely obviously not a good person. I know we talked about this and we're like, well, is it bad that he did this? Yes, it is bad.
He
But-
rapes women. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally bad, but it just sucks because of the good that was his album cover for decades.
I know.
The wholesome
He was the poster boy.
comedy
Yeah.
and
Poster boy
the
for
PBS public broadcast systems poster child, and working with black children, and just the
except
cities.
he has a dark
Yeah.
side.
And he's
A dark,
he-
evil side of him.
I wonder-
yeah,
I
it
wonder
started
if-
when he was 13.
I wonder
with the
if we'll-
Spanish Fly.
I wonder
There
if
we
we'll
go.
ever really hear the truth out of his mouth.
Oh hell no!
Or-
He'll
No,
deny
he's
it.
already
until
told the truth.
He'll deny it
He-
until he's buried.
He shared the truth in a parody.
Well, in that stand-up routine.
Yeah, that is not a parody. That is the truth.
Yeah,
You know,
it was so ridiculous
at
at the time that
yeah,
people laughed at
kind
it.
of like, he's kind of like, I wish I had a handful of Spanish fly. You see a bunch of girls in a corner. You know, remember there's like at a party, see a bunch of girls. That, I sure wish I had a girl. But come on.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That's not a parody.
No,
That
he was talking about drugging women with Spanish fly.
yeah.
For what
And-
reason?
Well, because he gets Jello on.
Gets his Jello on. God.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, yeah. So that was an interesting thing that
Those
happened.
Jello pudding pops were good too.
Do they still make those?
I haven't seen them.
I don't know.
I used to eat the shit out of those things.
Really?
Jello pudding.
It's probably
pops.
what's
I remember
wrong with
those.
us. Those fucking those chicken tenders with the hormones from chicken McNuggets. That's why we got big old titties.
I never ate a lot of
And,
chicken McNuggets. I never ate a lot of chicken McNuggets.
Oh, shut
yeah.
up. Were you a Big Mac guy?
No. I don't like Big Macs.
Quarter pounder?
I got the quarter pounder every now and then, but I just like the regular hamburgers.
You know what I didn't like about Big Mac? The special sauce.
You
No.
don't like it, or you do?
It's
I'm not a
Thousand
huge
Island.
fan of the Thousand Island.
It's
And I didn't
Thousand
even know
Island
it was
dressing.
Thousand Island. I was just like, don't like it.
I never ate the Big Mac. I always got the quarter pounder.
Yeah, I ate Big Macs. I remember when the Olympics were in Los Angeles. Was that 1984?
Yes, it was. Mary
McDonald's.
Lou Retton.
I was 14 or I guess 15, 14 or 15, depending on the time of the year. And the Olympics, every time they won a gold, if you had this ticket, you'd get a free Big Mac. Well, I had a bunch of these tickets, and because we won a shitload of gold,
Yeah, we did.
and I had 4 Big Macs in one sitting,
Oh, good Lord.
and I couldn't eat any after that. I was sick of them.
You ate 4 of them in one sitting?
Yeah, I was 15.
Oh, that's gross.
Well, that happens. I mean, you overdose on them at a certain point with anything,
Yeah.
alcohol, and your body's like, yeah, we are now developed a permanent strike
Yeah.
on fucking Big Macs. What
Yeah.
does it say?
We-
When your body is now sanctioned the Big
Yeah.
Mac program.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I remember we went to McDonald's and they had $1 or $2 double hamburgers.
Oh yeah, I've worked there and worked that
Yeah, double hamburgers or like
cheeseburgers.
yeah,
It's a double cheeseburger.
yeah, yeah. So I got 2 of them. I got 2 double hamburgers, and
Cheeseburger.
well, I asked for no cheese.
Oh, you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
I want
hate-
it fresh.
I don't like the cheese.
Please don't get the.
No. I just didn't like.
Can you
the
keep the
cheese.
cheese in the size, please?
Oh my God, really? Anyway, so I got 2 of those. I'm trying to think if it was 3. It might have been 2. It was 2.
So how many?
We got back to the house, and I was like, this isn't good. And I got out of the car, and I'm talking about like less than 10 years ago, and I threw up in my backyard.
Really?
What's the
So
most?
it tastes bad?
It tasted great. I mean, it wasn't like I tasted it and felt nauseous.
Well, I'm
'cause
sure that you just
it was so much
something
fat
off the
or so
grill.
much something. I don't know what it was, but I've never experienced that before.
So your body's just like.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, when we got home, I threw it all up, and I was like,
Well, what's the most you've
I think
ever
I'm gonna
ordered
stop
from
doing that.
a burger joint?
Do what?
Well, how many? I mean, there's I remember when I lived in El Paso, I went to this place. It was literally called Burgers or something like that. And
It's
they had
original.
like the 29-cent hamburger. It was something similar. It was 49 cents, 59 cents.
Right.
It was really cheap. And I was like, I'll have 15 burgers, and they were just kind of like,
You're like,
It's so
really?
gross.
well, but then back then it was kind of like, fuck it, man. A $20 bill, bam, throw that down there, and we eat all of it. I mean,
probably the most I could eat is 3 singles. I probably couldn't eat more.
are
than
you
that.
kidding me?
I don't know. How many hot dogs have you ever eaten? Three.
At one time?
3 is my max.
Probably 2.
Good Lord. Why did I just think of Tracy Lords for some reason?
What is she
Anyway.
doing these days?
Tracy Lawrence.
Lords. Anyway, so
Anyway, yeah.
so
3 of those.
I think I've eaten 6 to 8 hamburgers because they're the single patty ones.
Yeah, they're little.
I could eat 6 White Castle burgers, but there's no way I could eat 6 McDonald hamburgers.
God, the thing about Tracy Lords.
Who's
which,
Tracy Lord?
Tracy Lords is famous because she was an underage porn star.
They thought she was of age, but she was like 16.
She was 16 and she was gobbling a 4-pack.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so she fought through it, and now she has a respectable career.
I think she's got into regular acting. I don't know if it's like big
I
movies,
want to
but
say she was
she's
like
not
in
in,
a Melrose Place or something similar to that. She was on that.
She used a fake birth certificate to conceal the fact that she was 2 years under the legal age of 18.
Yeah, well, she was.
yeah.
I wonder if the
Wow.
if the producer or the owner of that company ever got sued or anything. You know, I mean,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how
I mean,
they would.
if she produced a fake birth certificate, I don't know. I don't know what it looks real. I've authenticated it. She's of age.
yeah.
I mean, what are the rules? How far do you have to take it? Do you have to take that birth certificate and take it somewhere?
Wow!
And go, is this
Hold on.
authentic?
Look at all the Tracy Lords Look at. I never realized she was in that many films.
The sex goddess.
Well, how many of those
Hold
are?
on. Are those porn? Are those porn?
Tough
Yeah,
Story
it
to Me
looks
Part
like-
3.
Yeah, I think they are.
Maybe
What
those-
Gets Me Hot?
All right, so get
Hold
past.
on. Night. Oh my God. Peekaboo Gang. Private Fantasies
Yeah,
5.
get past all that and see
Sex
if she.
Fifth Avenue. This is
she-
85. So
Erotic Gold.
Electric Blue, Beverly Hills Wives, 1985. Boy, she did a lot of them. Battle of the Stars. Beverly Hills Copulator.
What? Beverly
Wise
Hills
Guys,
Copulator.
88. Not of This Earth in 88. Stallone's Knockouts in 90.
She was in some movie.
That's a TV movie.
Okay, looks like she made the jump.
In 19, because Crybaby had Johnny Depp in it.
All right, so it looks like she stopped doing porn in '86,
Yeah. So from the mid 90s.
and then she was on MacGyver in '90. So it looks like there was a period where she stopped, and then
Right,
now
where
it
it
looks like
says-
from '90 on.
Well, hold
she
on.
was
Hold on.
doing.
Scroll down. See, it says Wise
Uh-oh.
Guy TV series. That was in 88.
She was Monique.
Monique. So I think that's where it started.
Yeah, but keep going up because I saw the Nut House, Miss Tress.
All right. Well, maybe she was like sprinkling in a few.
I think that's exactly what
and
was
what is
happening.
the Tommy Knockers? Is that a?
That's Stephen King.
Oh, I thought that sounded.
She was on
familiar.
Highlander, the show, Tales from the Crypt. No, it looks like she got a little more legit.
Whatever. I mean, what a. I want to say what a tragic story, but look. Let's get real. I'm not condoning sex at 16. But let's be let's think of this from a different perspective. They currently we are allowing 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds to be married to certain Muslim populations where they're being gifted
Right.
as wives, and we're not there's no uproar. You
Right.
know.
Here in the States?
Here in the States, they've got some weird shit going on too. There's stories that pop up all the time. I don't have anything on the top of my head, but there are stories that you got 16-year-old girls that are getting married or are gifted, and that are protected under religious cults.
Yeah.
Well, you see
Again,
that.
I can't pull.
Well,
up a
you also
sig-
have that that guy who had that cult. I think he had a compound here in Texas. So not the Davidians, but his last name was Jeffers. And he was marrying like 12, 13-year-olds. He had like 30 wives
Oh, wow.
and like kids with them.
Right.
So there is a documentary out there. Jim Jeffers? I can't remember.
Warren
Warren Jeffers?
Warren
Warren
Jeffs.
Jeffs. That's it. And he had, I don't remember what, it was a form of the Latter-day Saints, I think, an offshoot of that. It was basically a cult.
Yeah, he's a weird individual, man, dressed up in white. And
Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. Yeah. And he's in prison now.
That's so messed up. In the name of like Jesus, in the name of all that. I mean, really?
Yeah.
I mean, that is like.
So their philosophy is, once there's, grass on the field, play ball kind of mentality. It's just like, there's no emotional growth to complement the physical growth. It's just, maybe this is something that has. I don't know. I mean, I'm not. It's
just
definitely
sick.
not right. It's sick, but at the same time, How sick is it? I mean, in my mind, it's sick because I've been taught it's sick, and then I have daughters, and I feel it's sick. But maybe in the 1200s, 1400s, 1600s. And
Well, when the life expectancy was 25,
yeah, well,
Right.
that may be.
I'm sure played into it.
Maybe that's what it was.
Oh yeah,
You know?
it probably wasn't unusual for women to be girls to be married off at 15, 16 back in the Middle Ages.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I mean, look.
I get
Here's
that.
a prime example. Game of Thrones.
'Cause that's real.
Do you remember the
That's totally
the
real.
redhead? And she was married to Jeffrey,
Right.
and she was like, "I just had my period. I have to have sex with him."
Right.
And she was like 15.
Well, in the book, if you read the book,
Which I
most of
did.
those characters were 12, 13, 14 years old.
Wow.
So in the book, they're even younger.
Right. I read the books and I don't even remember them being that young.
Yep.
That's kind of gross.
Yep. Some of
You
the
were
older ones.
envisioning them older. That's gross too.
Is it?
Well, I mean, if that's what it takes for you to get through it, I mean,
Whatever.
Yeah, so that was one of the complaints.
Plus three. Plus
Well,
three.
that's one of the complaints is because there were sex scenes with like
it's okay. They were
12-year-olds
wearing a +3 ring.
Right.
in the book, right?
I have a ring of everybody who looks plus 4 years older.
It's okay.
I have a cloak. I have a cloak of look older.
Yeah.
That's
so,
fucked up.
That is so.
It's funny though.
That's so funny.
It's funny when you've played like games where, like World of Warcraft or what was some of the games that we played on Xbox where you require certain armors, which
Diablo.
Diablo. This boosts
Right.
your intellect. This boosts your
You're
charisma.
talking about Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Dungeons and Dragons. I freaking love it.
that's hilarious.
We got a charisma +3, and I've got a gender +-, and let's roll with the +3 years. What is that? What do they call it? Let's call it a chronology roll. I've got a chronology bonus.
Oh,
of
it
4.
went -3. Shit.
Damn, she's only 10.
Damn. I've got a chronology roll of -60, so I got to wait till I'm 75 to bang.
Oh God, that's so wrong.
It
that would
is.
be bad.
All right, so what? I mean, I don't even. Actually, never mind. I was going to ask about this Warren Jeffs guy, but
Well, what about it? Warren Jeffs?
it says 15 horrifying true facts about church leader Warren Jeffs.
He's only got 2 felony counts of Czechoslovakia.
Well, yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Oh,
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
mean,
he's
but-
in prison.
but
He went on the run.
But you know what? You talked about the Davidians, like David Koresh. He also had like a whole bunch of wives, and some of them were
Yeah,
really
but-
young.
Harem.
And
but I don't think he was banging toddlers.
Well, I don't know if he was banging toddlers. It was like, I think as soon as they
yeah,
hit
I mean, I think
womanhood.
if they were
12 years
17
old.
Well, I mean, that's
well, this
a great
guy.
question.
This
Great
guy
question.
Yeah, he was, but I don't think.
I don't know. Look
Koresh
that up,
was-
Mr. Producer. We got David Koresh brides.
I don't know.
David Koresh with a K. Yep,
Huh.
there he is.
That was a crazy. I think I was in college when that whole thing went down.
I saw
was,
it
oh
live.
yeah, no, we all huddled down in the TV room at the dorm watching the
Yeah.
Davidian compound burn.
Yeah, I remember watching the
93.
live
So I was out of school.
video of the bullets flying through the siding on the second floor.
Yes, they
were
shot
on
the
that
guys
little
climbing
loft.
on the roof.
Yeah, there were the agents were out there, and it's like, do you see a hole? Do. The hole would get closer to the agent, and then boom, it hit the agent. And he would like, fall over, and you're like, fuck, that just happened
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
live on live TV.
Yep, it was bad.
All right, so allegations of child
There we go.
abuse and statutory rape.
There you go.
Koresh was
Procreation of
alleged
24
to have
women
involved.
by chosen women in the community.
Well, it says 24 children by choice. These 24 children were to serve as the ruling elders. Get the hell out of here. Over the millennium after the return of the Christ. This is so weird.
Isn't that interesting? It seems to be a recurring theme that these like very charismatic religious leaders just have to have sex with really young girls.
I know. It's
Isn't
kind
that
of
just
strange.
kind of odd?
Yeah.
Wonder why that would be.
Was what's the guy down in Ghana? The Kool-Aid? Jim
Mhm.
Jones? Was he
Yep.
like that?
I don't know. He killed everybody.
Yeah, that was bad.
Did he kill himself?
Yeah, he took it too
Oh.
because he knew they were coming for him. The FBI was coming.
And so he killed everybody.
He killed
including
everybody,
himself.
including himself,
Right.
and he killed some FBI folks. I think that's why the FBI was coming down there because they came down there to
Where was this?
investigate. This is
Oh, and he had them killed.
he had them killed, and then they were trying to leave, but they had them killed. So yeah, that whole Jim Jones thing. That was back in
Jim
the
Jones?
Jim Jones.
Oh, it's not ringing a bell. Why not?
Yeah, you never heard about the Kool-Aid
Yeah.
where he killed like 250
Was that like
people?
an island or something?
It was in Ghana.
They
wherever that's
moved.
at.
They moved to Africa.
No, it wasn't
Didn't they?
Africa. It was down in South America somewhere.
Yeah, it was
Oh, it
like
was. Oh,
in
Ghana.
the
That's right. My
in
bad.
the Cuba area, wasn't it? Like
Jonestown.
Jonestown,
Ghana.
Ghana.
Yep. That's right. It's just to the east of Venezuela.
and
I
they
guess.
drank a shitload of
Cyanide.
poison Kool-Aid.
Cyanide poison, yeah.
Yep. How many people died? Does it say at the very top?
I think they had
All
over
right.
3,000 people.
No.
It was a significant number. I
And all of them died.
Mass murder, the claim the lives of
304 of them were children.
918.
918 people.
304 of them were children.
And did anybody survive?
I don't know.
well, I mean,
Almost all of the members died by drinking Flavor Aid laced with cyanide.
Unbelievable.
I'd be that guy that faked it.
Well, you know what? There had to be at least one that
Yeah, they didn't.
didn't,
They
I'd be
didn't,
like-
they
that
didn't all
didn't
take
drink
it.
it. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't all take it at once. So you probably see these people. I don't think cyanide's a real pleasant way to go.
Well, your body will. My brother was poisoned with eating peach pits, peach pits or plum pits, something like that, and it was had a bunch of cyanide in the pits, and his lips
Your
were
brother?
turning, yeah, and we ended up taking him to the hospital because his lips were turning fucking blue. And we're
why?
like-
Why? How did he have that?
He was eating plums or something that had large apricots. I think it was apricots where he was eating the fucking seeds, and the seeds had cyanide in them.
How?
It's a natural thing that the seeds have.
Oh, okay. Okay.
My point by bringing that up is that it sounds like if his lips were turning blue, to me it sounds like they asphyxiated something. Because if your lips are turning blue, then it's
You lose oxygen.
you're losing oxygen somehow. So maybe something's happening to your lungs, or maybe your intake of oxygen is what is it? Cyanide in fruit seeds. How dangerous is it? Yeah, there's cyanide in apple seeds.
That's
Small amounts, but there's
crazy.
some.
Okay. Wow.
I've eaten apple seed.
I never.
You eat them every now and then.
Hey, it might be healthy to have one or two every now and then. Live life on the edge.
I have a whole jar of them, and I just sit there and eat them
Kind of
constantly.
like sunflower seeds.
Yeah, and chew them all up.
I
and-
grind mine up into a tea.
And you steep it.
apple tea cyanide.
I like to
Wow.
steep it with a carrot.
Wow, I had no idea. But 900 people.
900.
I mean, you would think that the people that drank it first, right? If they're all lining up to drink it, or I don't know how they handed it out, but like you said, the people that are dying first are like, and the other people are like,
I don't think it happened that fast.
and the other people are like, yeah, we probably should.
Well, it's
I
also
don't think it happened that
it's also
there
it's
was
a
a
cult.
movie out.
There's several movies. It's a cult. He probably had them brainwashed, saying this is our time to ascend to heaven or whatever.
and it's
He
going to
probably
be
told.
painful.
Yeah,
It's
And
going to be
th-
painful
this,
at first, but
th-
that
this
means
is
salvation.
our sacrifice to mean salvation. Let's do it.
Right.
That's probably what happened. Just like the heaven's
Did he
gate.
kill himself?
Yeah,
He killed him. He killed himself with a revolver, though, didn't he?
I don't remember. I don't know.
I don't think he poisoned himself.
I don't know.
He was I want to say he's a poisson. Suicide by gunshot, right there. Boom.
No.
You're kidding?
No.
Gunshot?
Yeah.
What a loser! He couldn't even drink the same shit that he did to his.
Probably because he watched people went, yeah, I'm not doing that.
And then did he? I think he killed his own children and own wife.
Yeah.
Well, there
It's a
were
fruitcake.
there were parents giving this shit to their kids.
Oh, God.
Saying, here, take this.
He was He was only 50 years old. He's 47.
Oh.
I mean, God, to have that much control over. I mean, there's so much you can do, so much good you can do, is what I'm getting at, and to waste it on something like some stupid faction.
That's narcissism, ego, whole 9 years wrapped into that.
Ugh.
I need to be worshipped.
That's absolutely insane.
Then you had the Heaven's Gate cult.
Is that the one with the space coming?
Yeah, so
Jesus coming
Yeah,
down.
the
So they-
mothership is coming.
So they all got in their little sweatsuits and their gym shoes. They all laid in bed and drank poison.
I thought that was the $6 Million Man episode. That happened for real too.
Yeah, it's and there's pictures and you can see them. You see all their feet on their beds.
It was like 20 people.
Yeah, see them all
Oh
there.
yeah, there's that guy, and he didn't kill himself. I don't think he killed himself.
Yeah, you see all these people that are dead. That's crazy. They're laying in their beds right there. They all got dressed up.
And he didn't kill himself.
I no, I don't think so. I mean,
That's-
look, he's older.
That's awesome. What a jackass.
He was. He,
I don't know
he
if he
probably
killed
was
himself or
watching
not.
it go down. He was like, I don't think this is what I signed up for.
Heaven's Gates. I guess it's still going.
Well, they keep putting the date out further and further. Oh, he's going to show up on this date. Oh,
No, he can't.
He's gonna show
what
up
do
on
you mean
this
it's
date.
still going? No, he's in jail or he's dead.
he maybe did now, but he didn't. He didn't die because he didn't die during these episodes. The mass suicides.
They all wore Nike Decade.
Yeah,
They all wore the same shoes.
Yeah, they all dressed up and they were ready to
Oh,
go
how creepy.
to ascend to the comet.
Yeah, I bet they were really relaxed.
They all wore the same
Do you imagine
shoes.
how comfortable those shoes were? Those shoes were really comfy back then.
Oh, God, that's so...
It's just creepy how they're all just laying there lined up. I don't know.
And they were all wearing the same shoes.
Same, the
Was
black
that an Air
pants.
Jordan?
It's a decade.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
it's just, and you know what? These are crazy white guys. Crazy white guys.
I didn't think they were white. I thought they were Asian.
No,
That's not Asian.
They were
was
all
out-
white people?
it was out in
Now,
California.
maybe
they
not
only have
Warren
white
Jeffs.
people
Who's
out
the
there
other
in
guy? The one prior to this one.
Jim Jones.
Yeah, is Jim Jones white? He looked
Yeah,
kind
he's a
of
white guy.
Cuban-esque kind of.
He's a white guy as far as I
He
know.
looked a little Cuban. He looked a little salt, a little Latino.
Yeah,
blood
I've,
in
I've
him.
watched.
thinking he's all white.
There's a movie out there that I watched of his, and it's just, and you know it's real, so you're just kind of like, I know what's coming.
He's from Rancho Santa Fe, California.
Hold on. What were you saying, Jeff? What were you saying right before that?
Well, you're sitting there watching the movie,
And you know it really
or the
happened.
mini-series. You're just like, I know this is real, and I know what's about to happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right, and it's kind of
Sobering.
Yeah, it is.
I don't like watching
Sobering.
stuff like that at all.
like Titanic. You know what's going to happen.
I didn't know what was going to happen in that movie.
You didn't know the ending of it.
Well, I mean, I knew the ship was going to. I knew a lot of people were going to die, but I mean, there was about the actors.
You
and
didn't know Jack was going to slowly descend
his
into.
hand was going to drop down. He was like,
Yeah, she's
"You
like,
bitch!
no,
You told me you were going to give me the jewels.
don't let go. Don't let go.
It's so cold. It's so
Joel.
cold."
Draw me nude.
But you know, what?
What?
That's what she said.
But
She
it
did
was.
say that.
But you know what? We can make
Draw
fun
me
of it.
like
We
your
can make
French
fun of it
girls.
all we want, but it was an amazing movie.
It was good. I saw it.
And it was a
several
great
times.
love story.
Do you know what
oh
the
my
weirdest part of
God,
that movie
really?
was?
It
Do you
was
remember
a-
at the very end when she dropped the jewel into the water?
Yeah.
Do you remember right before she dropped the jewel? Did you get a look at those fucking morbid feet?
No.
What?
Oh,
Wow.
when she was climbing up on the rail.
Well,
to
first off, she's
drop
like
the
80 years
jewel.
old.
My point.
That are like
fucking-
arthritic.
She looked like Yoda climbing up a tree
Of
stalk.
course.
It was.
By the way, you're going to look the same way at 80 years old.
I am going to be impeccable.
No, you're not.
Yes.
You've already got
Your
cankles.
feet already look like ass.
You know what? That's not my fault. It's a pigmentation problem. you-
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, it's going to be even worse when you're older.
And he's got cankles.
What is up with that? It's like my bottom torso, my bottom legs are turning black.
Yeah.
It's like I'm turning. I don't know. It's not even African American. So what do I call it?
It's a tan.
No, it's because you wear these funky ass socks.
No, I'm wearing funky ass socks now because I enjoy.
Really?
I
You enjoy the
hugs.
compression.
The compression is fantastic. These socks
Mm-hmm.
made in China are like 1,000 sweatshop workers giving my calves a hug.
Wow.
Wow.
How sensitive you are.
That's probably true, though.
Probably.
Well, maybe at least 5.
Yeah.
And as long as they're holding hands.
Why were we talking about the Titanic? Oh,
Well-
because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know
okay.
what's going to happen.
Okay.
But those feet, I can't get past the feet of the whole movie. I'm thinking.
I don't remember the feet at all.
Oh, dude, she climbs up and it's kind of like, is that a hoof?
Who was? That's not what I remember. Who's the actress in that? She was pretty.
Kate Winslet.
Yes, she was pretty. And she's like on the couch being drawn by.
That's what I said. Drawing a nude pic.
Yeah, that's what I remember. I don't remember gnarly old feet at the end of the movie, dumbass.
I remember the breast.
Why do I gotta
Yes,
be a
I remember
dumbass? Because
the
that's all I
breast.
remember.
He's got the foot fetish, right?
It's not a foot fetish.
She's cute, man.
Hold
And
on,
she was
hold
hot
on.
in that movie.
Scroll down to the right where she's wearing the little black outfit, and you can see the foot. No,
No, that's not her foot, you
no,
dummy.
down one more to the right there. Is that her?
No, it's not
No.
her feet.
It's an old
It's
actress.
an old actress.
I know, but I still want to see that.
No. Oh, because you have a foot fetish.
I don't have a foot fetish.
Yeah,
but you know what? Type it in there.
I
What is
think
it?
you do.
What is the actor's name? God bless it. What is it called? The character's name?
I have no idea. Rose.
Who knows?
It was Rose.
It was Rose. Jack and
It
Rose.
was Rose. And wasn't that Leonardo DiCaprio? Wasn't that one of his biggest outbreak movies?
Yeah.
If not the biggest outbreak movie.
He was in Gilbert Grape.
Right. Yeah. I tell you what, he's a good actor.
Uh,
I mean, he's had some big movies. I wouldn't say they're as big as like, Tom Cruise type of thing, but I mean,
he's had a few good ones.
He's been in
The Wolf on Wall Street.
Yeah, and Catch Me If You Can.
I don't remember that one. I watched it.
Oh,
I
that
remember.
is a great movie.
Is that where he acts
con
like he's
artist.
a
He's a con artist.
pilot and he's cashing these checks?
And that's based on a real story on
Yeah,
Frank
he bought-
Abigail.
He bought these model airplanes
Yep.
at the airport
Yep.
and took the decals off those planes and put them on paper and
Yep.
then to make them look like real checks.
Yeah.
What a whippersnapper!
So here's what's crazy. So
Tom-
it's a real
Tom
story.
Hanks caught him.
It's a real story. His name is Frank Abigail.
Mhm.
And they really did let him go from prison if he would help the FBI fraud department.
Yeah,
And
he never went to prison.
well, no, I think he did for a brief period. And then they let him out because he was working for the FBI.
Right.
So check this. I was reading an article. That had to do with, why you should never use your debit card for purchases, like your bank card.
Right.
Never use your debit card. Like, don't go to Kroger and
Yep.
and use your debit card as a credit card.
Yes.
Because it automatically takes money out of your checking account. And then when the money is taken out of your checking account directly, you don't have as much recourse to get that money back
Correct.
as you would if you used your credit card, like not related to your bank account. And so I was sitting here reading this article and I was like, well, I know this, but it gave some details that were really, really interesting. It was written by Frank Abigail. And I was like, are you shitting me? That's the guy from Catch Me If You Can. Now
that's
he's
funny.
and he's writing articles to help people not get, to be protected from fraud
From people
and
like him.
from people like him.
I don't ever. You know what? That brings up a good point.
I told my
Jeff,
dad,
you had-
when I read that article, I was like, I told my dad,
Jeff, you
don't ever use
use
your debit card.
a program. Is it called Acorn?
Acorn, yeah.
Acorn was
Acorn?
a lending industry.
For Jeff's program, what it does is it rounds up. Let's say your purchase is $4.75. It'll take 25 cents of the purchase and put it towards a bank account of your
Well,
choice.
it actually buys
Ish.
stock and mutual funds. So it'll grow slowly. And I did it just to say, I want to save money for a vacation. And I have a hard time saying, all right, here's $100 a month. So every charge I do, it puts a little bit in there, and when you're ready, you just pull it out.
All right, so this goes towards stocks. This doesn't go towards like a bank account.
No.
So you're
So they invest it, and you make
Oh, this is a credit card.
no. Every time I use my credit card, I tie it to it.
well. That's what we're asking,
Right,
and
okay.
that's where I'm getting at because I think it's. I agree. I never use my debit card. I always use my credit card, and I was wondering, well, can you do that with the Acorn program?
I'm sure.
Because
Yeah.
I'm starting to consider doing that.
You
Yeah.
still do that?
I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to force myself to save.
Yeah, you're not going to make money. You're saving money.
I'm saving money. It's forcing me to save money. It's
And you
10
use
cents
it now?
here. Oh, yeah, I've got it on my phone. 10 cents here, 20 cents there. Every time you use it, right? So you just forget about it. And now I have almost $3,000 in there.
So
long
every
is
single
$3,000 take?
time
Like a
you
year?
use your credit card, you have it round up and take.
And you can do it round up by once. You could do twice. You could do 4 times. So if you save, if it's yours is $1.50, you say, I'm going to do it 4 times. You would add $2 to the thing instead of 50 cents. So you can dictate how much you give.
But every time you use your credit card, it's rounding up and taking that overage and,
And
putting
putting
it
it into this.
Yeah.
a mutual fund account.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah. I kind of, I wasn't on board with it when he talked to me about it. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of a cool way. I'd rather have more control over the way I do it. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I've got too much shit going on to have to manage the money like that. It'd be nice because I purchase shit all the time. So,
meaning you would just like it to do it by itself.
yeah, if I could set it up where it was doing it by itself.
But you get to choose what funds it goes into.
Well, you could choose
low risk,
medium, or,
yeah.
or like that, but you're not going to make money at this. You're not going to make a lot of money at this.
Well, they're investing the money into mutual funds, which means you can make money.
You can.
Yeah, but those are long term.
You know, I'm sure if I had $50,000 in there, the return's going to be higher. I've got $3,000 in there, so it's making. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look. $20 a year or whatever.
Well, plus you got to pay taxes when you pull it out.
Correct.
And unless you leave it in there longer than a year.
Well, it's probably taken 2 years to get up to $3,000.
Well, it's not a qualified account. It's being taxed as you purchase.
No, it's taxed when you take it out.
Tax deferred?
It's taxed when you take it out.
When I sell the shares, I say I want to withdraw $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Takes a few days because then they go sell those shares,
right?
And then they'll send you the tax form that you have to declare that on your taxes.
Okay, interesting.
So we're planning the vacation for our 25th.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
It should be paid for.
So you have to pay taxes on your money that you already have.
Correct. When I sell it, maybe on the gains.
Yeah,
right?
It's only going to be on the gains.
So it could be on the gains. So if it's worth $3,000, I probably put in $2,900.
So now I'm wondering how much the fees are.
Remember, if it's a qualified account, meaning it's a 401k or something like a Roth IRA, or
it's not a Roth
or something. Right. If it's a qualified account, it means you are not taxed when you put it in. Right? It's pre-tax.
It's pre-taxed. But hold on, Paul, you're missing.
And this is
you're missing. You're not putting it. It's your money.
Right.
It's already been taxed.
That's right.
So
which means
you're
it's not going to be taxed when you put it in.
You're putting your asset into their bank, and your asset has the potential to accumulate interest, and so you're only paying taxes on the interest that you accumulate minus fees.
Because it's already been taxed.
Minus fees.
Right.
So that's the whole thing there.
That's the fees.
Is fees. That's where they're going to get the money.
Oh, they're going to make their money.
And their fees are going to supersede the amount of money that you're going to make. So, I don't know.
Yep. I mean, they're going to make their money.
It's all, and that's what I was kind of driving at when Jeff first brought this up. I was like, fuck those guys. They just want to make money. But in retrospect.
So that shows how much I would have at the age of 92 if I just kept it up.
Oh, but you're only going to live to 91.
Yeah. So it says at the rate I'm doing, it says I would invest $18,000, and what's the return? $69,000.
88.
So I'd put in
$88,000.
I'd put in $18,000, and I'd get $88,000 back because it would make money over the next 40 years.
Right.
Right.
All right, we got a straight bourbon whiskey. It's few. It's 46.5% alcohol, 93 proof, and we give this one a thumbs. It's okay.
Well, you know what? It's not an expensive bourbon, so it doesn't have a high expectation. Is what I'm going to say.
It went
so
down
it's not
fast
bad. It's not bad. I would say it's a sideways. It's not a thumbs down. It's not a thumbs up. It's a thumbs sideways. That's perfect. It's an It's an
I'll tell you what. Happy post-Thanksgiving. It's been a super week. came back to a busy ass work
Oh
period.
shit.
And
Yeah.
I got to dive in head first. I'm glad we're doing the podcast. I was a little upset that we missed out last week, but family comes first. Period.
Thank you, bro.
Every single time.
Thanks for having my back, bro.
That's not true, but anyways,
Okay. All right, so we're set for next week, and guess what? Next week is December.
Yeah.
oh wow, man, it's Christmas. It's right around
December.
here.
It's Christmas time, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho, dudes like us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul,
I'm Jeff.
See ya.
and we'll catch you out. I'm rapping.
No, you're not.
We'll see you guys.
I got a bourbon coming next week.
What?
I got Dead Man. What is that fucking?
It's The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. I've got Walking Dead bourbon.
Well, we have to get 2 more bourbons this week.
All right. Bye. See you
Bye.
guys.